Go right ahead.
Well, opening league play, obviously disappointing. I think that, number one, I'm not disappointed in our kids. I'm disappointed for them. I've said this all year long in terms of who they are, how they've worked, and their attitude, etc. And it was unbelievable just in terms of the approach that we had coming into the game. I felt like we were ready to play, and I felt like even at the start of the game, obviously creating some offense for ourselves early in the game, some turnovers or whatever, got off to a decent start, but we really struggled from that point forward offensively to play with any type of ball movement. It almost felt like every single time that we got a steal, the guy with the steal had to dribble it. If we passed it up the floor, he had to dribble it. And we got into a real bad rut offensively in terms of just bogging ourselves down. And I think that would probably be the most disappointing thing, was our inability to create any easy offense or easy ball movement that creates any type of flow in the game. And, Loyola's got a really, really nice team. And I don't know what's happened in terms of their non-conference schedule, but they're one of the best rosters in our league. And when you have Miles Rubin at the basket, and he's able to protect the way he protected, you're also going to have to find a way to make some shots. And that didn't go our way tonight as well. Being down 16 at the under 8 could have went a lot of different ways, but the character level of our team, I thought the fight in our team and being able to just keep staying with it defensively gave us a little bit of a window, a little bit of a boost, but we just didn't have enough today, just in terms of shot making, creativity, in terms of assists, or just the bottom line, the things that you need to do to win in our league. And we'll learn from it. We'll figure it out, whatever the next step is. Like I told our group, this is one of many, and you're going to not allow your offense, so to speak, to disappoint the other end. We've been built with the other end being able to create the offense. And I think the thing that's most disappointing, without watching the film, is that a team came into our building and turned the ball over 24 times, and they went away with a win. That's a telling stat. When you go on the road and you turn it over 24 times, it's usually really, really difficult to win the game. We had 13 steals and 6 block shots, and that's a recipe on a stat sheet for effort, run-outs, defense to offense, easy baskets, and it just didn't turn out that way. Individually, I felt like Justin Moore was fantastic as a point guard. He played the game really well. He made big plays for him and some big shots, and they shot it extremely well for a good portion of the game, and that was sort of the difference. But to be out-rebounded by 9, we missed a lot of shots, obviously, but we just didn't have enough really quality possessions, whether it been in transition, didn't create any easy ones in transition, and then in the half court, we were really dribble-oriented, ball-oriented, and it just made the game kind of bogged down. But we'll learn from it. We have another one coming, and they're all going to keep coming, so we got to keep getting better. And like I said, it was a good win for Loyola to come in here and get one here to start. For us, we're going to have to find a way to regroup and get on the road and get back at it.
Questions?
Coach, you've talked in the past about having an advantage and not being able to capitalize. And tonight, as you said, 24 turnovers for them, and you only got 19 points off the turnovers.
Big game, big part of the game. It's been probably the secret to the sauce, so to speak, for our team here through, 14 games, 15 games, whatever it may be. But when you have a defense that steals the ball at the rate that we do, that deflects the ball at the rate that we do, typically that's been our best offense at times, is creating numbers and getting the ball up the floor. And we probably had, 8 to 10 in the first half, and at least 5 or 6 late in the game, last 7 minutes, where you're just not seeing the run come from easy baskets, whether it's an open shot, whether it's an and one on the break, whether it's a foul. But we weren't able to generate enough off of our defense tonight to weather, so to speak, the lack of shooting or the lack of ability to create for each other in the half court.
I think that was more the transition, lack of ball movement transition, or just unable to finish around the rim?
You know, I think part of it's both. I think they had great rim protection in the game. They were, extremely aggressive around the basket. We had a really hard time getting clean looks. That's what Ruben does. But they're also big at the 4 and the 5, in the game. And I thought they did a really good job of playing hard at the rim and making hustle plays. And I think Miles had a couple in the second half where he had a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-2 and they block it. They made good plays, but things around the basket were very difficult for us. And, we go 1 for 10 from 3 in the second half at home. You got to make some shots. And some of them were probably good, but I think there's a lack of confidence for a good portion of the game in how we were playing. We were struggling so much that it's sort of to weigh on us. And like I told those guys, our offense can't weigh on us. Our defense has to be the catalyst. We have to be able to create offense. And then now moving forward in league play, when things are really equal with talent and whatnot, you're going to have to run good offense. And to me, for us, the ball movement, just the quick ball movement, being able to get it moving, being able to create offense through sides, second side, third side, just wasn't there. Too many guys with, throughout the course of the game that had to put it down and try to put it down. And it was a recipe, I think, offensively for disaster. But I think it'll be a hard lesson. Hopefully we'll get better from it in terms of being able to run better offense. And, the lineups and some of the things that we had to get out there today was a little unique, obviously, because, we didn't have Jameer involved in what we're doing. He plays a big role as well, so hopefully we can get him back.
Different opponents, different venues, of course, but commonality is going to struggle to start A-10 play in that first game. Why do you think that is?
I don't have an answer for that other than the fact that I think our league's very good. I think you play good teams. I think you play good players, and I don't think by any stretch of the imaginations are we running over anybody. I think you're going to have to earn the right to play well in this league, and I think you're going to have to earn the right, so to speak, from a gritty standpoint with our team, that we're going to have to really, really compete hard to win these games. And tonight was disappointing, but it wasn't for lack of approach. They made some plays, they had timely threes. I thought second half, we got off to a bad start in the first 3 to 4 minutes, which got us behind coming out of the gates. But last 8 minutes of the game, I think defensively in particular, we got enough stops and we had enough opportunities to climb it in, but we just had way too many empty possessions throughout the course of the game. And one season doesn't really set a trend these days with so many new teams, but we're gonna have to buckle up. Our league's good. Every team that we play is good. Got good players, and like I said, we're not running over anybody. We're gonna have to be really good at what we do.
It seemed like you built a little momentum at the end of the first half. You obviously held them scoreless
Yeah,
the last 4.5 minutes.
7-zip, I think, the last 4 minutes, which was good. Jonah's 3 sort of gave us a little bit of a window. It wasn't a real big concern. We talked very heavily in the second half about the lack of ball movement, and I think to start the second half, we turned it over maybe 2-3 times in a row, or tried it at the rim, and it was a tough play, which it got us in a hole. We had to work from behind double figures a lot of the times for a good portion of the game, and just didn't have enough quality offensive plays in the half. We weren't able to convert from the 3, and it was very difficult around the rim. And I think a big portion of the first half and the first 5 to 7 minutes was the foul line as well. We had a 10-4 lead. I think we went to the line. I think we were 1 for 6 to start from the game. Those are empty those are like turnovers. If you go to the line and you go 0 for 2 twice or 3 times and you can't extend your lead, it lets them back in. So we didn't do a good job at the foul line to start the game. Did a much better job, obviously, in the second half. 11 for 11. We were 1 for 6 to start the game in the first half from the foul line, which hurt us. But, it was just a disappointing offensive performance, and I think that we can play better than that.
Coach, the strength of the offense has been the up-tempo, the getting down the court before the opponents, the fast breaking. I don't have seen much of that the last few games. Tonight there was only 5 fast break points. What's happening with that? whole up-tempo strategy getting down the court?
You know, I think part of it is, you're playing against teams that are taking it away. I think you're playing against teams that are doing a better job in transition of getting back. We're not striking well at all. This team hasn't striked well at all in transition really from the start of the year. And we've been working very, very hard on it last few weeks, just in terms of the ability level to get it up the floor faster, swifter, easier offense. But I think we'll be a work in progress on that. We have to do a better job as converting when we do have our numbers, especially defensively.
Did you talk to them about the beginning of the game, the shot selection? It seemed that they were settling for jump shots early in the shot clock.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it was, bad offense. I think guys struggling to run good offense, move the ball, create offense off of second side, third side. We had no ability to do that. We took a lot of challenge threes, deep threes, and it gets us off to a bad start when we can't hit them. And, but clearly as you evaluate the film, you're going to see shot selection, you're going to see over dribbling, you're going to see lack of hitting open men when they're open, and you're also going to see in the course of a game that it sort of got tight. We didn't play with great confidence or freedom offensively, as the game wore on. We were nervous, and it was hard to score around the rim, which is difficult, especially if you can't get any easy ones off the second chances or you're not getting any drives to the rim. But the inability for us to be able to create any offense, with the pass, to me was a big deal.
Archie, an update on Jameer?
Not really. He's dealing with a knee flare-up. We don't think that it's anything long-term. It happened right before Christmas game. The Christmas break came and went, and he hadn't improved a whole lot. So he hasn't practiced. Now, moving forward, I think we may have a better grip on that, and we're hopeful that he's going to be able to calm that down and sort of get back into the groove that he was in, because he's played great through our non-conference, and he also is another guy that we depend on to be able to create offense, not only for himself, but he can break his guy down and do some things like that. So, I think getting him back will be important, but I don't really know when that is.
All right, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.